folks. Hey, oh, this is something I do sometimes. Hold on, I don't need to just put on my glasses. I'm doing that also. This is something I do. Can somebody tell me when this nation turned into a country of rats and squealers? Rats and squealers and snitches, you know? People spying on each other, turning each other in, joining the neighborhood crime watch, people making anonymous telephone calls to tipster hotlines. Shit, it's not a tipster hotline. You know what it is? It's the rats and squealers hotline. But you know if they called it that, you know how many people would call in? Lots of them, because people got no fucking principles anymore. Everyone's a stool pigeon now, a nation of stool pigeon informers. How am I driving? Call at 1-800 and squeal on the truck driver. Sounds like a little thing, but it's not. It's an open invitation to be a rat. And that's what people are. They cooperate with prosecutors, for Christ's sakes. Prosecutors, the worst kind of dishonest swine ever to crawl out of the devil's asshole. People cooperate, they make deals with them, they plea bargain and betray their friends to get a lighter sentence. That's how the prosecutors ruined the mafia, got them to sell each other out. When I was a kid, we looked up to the mafia. We respected those guys because they had a code of silence. No one talked, ever. Omerta. No one ever talked. Now, they put the finger on each other and they join the witness protection program. They buy a fake mustache so they can move to Pocatello, Idaho. You know something? They deserve fucking Pocatello, Idaho. And speaking of places where nobody lives, did you notice that even those militia nitwits, the militia assholes turned into stool pigeons, the Montana Freemen, the ones with the serpent on the flag, remember they refused to recognize the authority of the federal government? Well, as soon as the heat was on, 2 of them caved in and they testified for the state against their friends, so they stayed out of jail so their friends could be sold down the river. Never mind the snake. You know what they ought to have on that flag? A rat. A nice big brown Norwegian sewer rat fucking the snake in the asshole. And both of them wearing camouflage fatigues. Patriots, shit. Patrick Henry's probably spinning in his grave like a pinwheel. We got no heroes anymore, no heroes. Elvis Presley was a snitch for the DEA. Timothy Leary squealed to the FBI. The only real hero I've seen recently, Susan McDougal. She told Ken Starr to go get fucked and she went to jail for it. That's a fucking hero. I'll tell you this, Clinton must have thrown her a pretty good hump to get loyalty like that. And what really bothers me is people squealing on their families. That shit is right out of Nazi Germany. Parents spying on their kids, going in their rooms, looking in their drawers, turning their kids into the police. And the kids are no better. Did you ever read about one of these kids who turns in his parents for having drugs in the house? Shit, how stupid can you be? You don't turn in the people who are buying the fucking food, asshole. Think it over. Squealing on your relatives. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, one of my personal heroes, by the way. He was turned in by his own brother for $1 million. You don't do that. You don't turn in your brother or your parents or your kids no matter what they've done. Whatever happened to family values? In fact, you should never cooperate with the police ever, in any way. Never cooperate with the fucking police. Fuck the police. Let them solve some crimes on their own for a change. They rely too much on unsolved mysteries and America's Most Wanted to get people to solve their fucking crimes for them. Turn good people into bounty hunters and vigilantes lower than a snake's ball bag. The mafia knew how to handle squealers in the old days. When I was a little kid, there was a famous bank robber by the name of Willie Sutton, wanted by the police. Willie, he had nothing to do with the mafia, just a plain good old-fashioned American bank robber. And he's riding a subway one day in New York, and some civic-minded prick named Arnold Schuster turned him in. But you know what? A mafia boss read about it in the newspaper, and he had Arnold Schuster killed, which is what he deserved, the yellow rat motherfucker. He should have minded his own business. You don't help the police. When we were kids, we went to the movies, we rooted against the police and for the crooks. And I still do. I love the crooks. Even if they come to my house and kill my whole family. Fuck it. I love them anyway. I love the crooks. I'd much rather hang around with a crook all day than with a fucking policeman, I'll tell you that. You don't help the police and you don't plea bargain by turning in your friends. Tell you what, you people who believe in God, when you see him on Judgment Day, ask him if you can plea bargain. Tell him you're willing to squeal on your family if he lets you get into heaven. You know what he'll say? He'll say, fuck you. You fucking squealer, go to hell. He'll say, go to hell. Because even God hates a rat. You know what Jesus should have done? He should have beat the shit out of Judas. But he didn't, because he believed in all that love bullshit. But you notice this? He didn't squeal on the apostles, no. And he didn't plea bargain with the Romans either. He took what was coming to him. And we can all learn something from Jesus, even if it's not what we're expecting. There you go, baby. That's going to be fine. Don't worry about that. As soon as I got that motherfucker memorized, that's going to work real nice. Take out a couple of slow spots, that's all. It's going to be fine. Hey, that reminds me of something my third grade teacher said to us. She got us all together one day and she said, you show me a tropical fruit and I'll show you a cocksucker from Guatemala. No, that wasn't her. That was a guy I met in the army. I always confused those two people. Hey, you know something that bothers me? When I'm flying first class, and some guy from Coach comes up and takes a shit in our bathroom. You know, I say, get back to your filthy Coach toilet with the tampon sticking out of the commode. And don't be coming up here and leaving your disgusting super saver feces in our nice, clean, attractive first-class chemical toilet. Well, I think most people know by now, Coach feces smell much worse than first-class feces. It's too bad, it's unfortunate, but it is true. It's a function of socioeconomics. It has to do with diet as it relates to income. The lower the income, the worse the diet, the more disgusting the feces. It's a scientific fact. Most people know it. And the farts, too. In fact, the worst farts of all in the whole travel industry can be found in the economy section of any plane coming in from the third world. It is fucking torture back there. They have farts back there that could kill cancer. Especially in the last 3 rows. Because what happens is, these planes get flying so fast that all the most vicious and lethal farts are pushed toward the back of the airplane, where they build up pressure until they reach critical fart density, CFD, and the whole back end of the plane blows off, and terrorists get blamed. For these farts, these explosions that are nothing more than spontaneous fart combustion. And the FBI doesn't know this. They don't know what they're doing. They're looking for explosives. They should be looking for minute traces of cabbage and broccoli. These are the kind of thoughts that kept me out of the really good schools.